We're live. All right. Good evening. Time is 6:02. This meeting of the Fern Bluff Municipal Utility District Board of Directors has come to order. Roll call of directors. All directors are present and accounted for. Director Stemko, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance this evening?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Director Stemko.
Whoa, sorry. It's just coming with me.
Is that for me? All right. This is the time for citizens communications. We just ask everyone to remember, please limit your speaking to 2 minutes per person. At this time, we have one person signed up to speak. Ms. Linda Fobb, if you'd like to take the podium, we'd love to hear from you for the next 2 minutes.
A month ago, I submitted a request for records related to deed enforcement. What I received raises serious concerns about the lack of oversight and accountability in this area. In February, Sage billed the district for 68 letters. Only 20 were produced. That means they either overcharged for 48 letters that were never sent or public records are being withheld. It can't be both. I filed a complaint with the Attorney General's office. All the addresses were redacted from reports and letters without citing any valid legal reason. The district referenced a Texas Utility Code statute that doesn't exist. Deed enforcement records are not utility records. They are business records, and they must be disclosed under the law. I've requested a formal AG review of your redactions. Some letters included civil penalties, although the MUD has no legal authority to impose civil penalties related to deed restrictions. That authority lies with the courts, not this board or its contractors. Residents are entitled to due process under both their deed and the Constitution. Your civil penalty authority is limited to water and land owned by this district. That's it. Sage billed this district for 135 communications over the span of just 2 months, yet the district claims there are no records documenting who was contacted or what those communications were about. That means there's no way to know what message was delivered to your residents or if these communications occurred at all. This lack of documentation is deeply troubling. Public funds are being spent without accountability, and that should concern every person in this room. If this board does not act, then you are complicit. You are allowing taxpayer dollars to fund intimidation, misinformation, and possibly even fraud under the banner of deed enforcement. The residents deserve better, the law demands better, and it's your responsibility to deliver it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Have any other residents to speak? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to, let's do the consent agenda. Ms. General Manager, do we have anything to remove from the consent agenda?
I do not.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Director Stemko, second by Barnes, all in favor. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. All right. Do we want to do item 5, Parks Committee?
Our landscapers here, that'd be great.
Let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that, and then we can just put the parks in with the general manager's report.
Thank you, Brian.
Hello. So in terms of maintenance, last time I was here, I touched on the live oak leaves starting to drop. Now we're in full swing. So that's taken up a pretty good chunk of our time maintenance wise. That, and with the rains that we've had and the warmer temperatures, it's cutting grass and trying to manage the live oak leaves. That's mostly what the maintenance crew's been up to. In terms of green belts with that crew, what we've been doing during the wildflower season hasn't been a great season, but we've given the areas that typically have wildflowers a chance to see what's come out. So we've been mowing 2 passes along all the trails. My mowers are about, they're 60-inch decks, so that's about 10 feet. And then we'll do 2 passes around the houses that border the green belts. Some of them have gates, but just to kind of keep the rodents away and what have you. So that's what we've been doing for green belts. Now that we've seen what wildflowers are going to be present this year, we're seeing a lot of areas that are just grass. So we've started mowing those areas. Today we tackled most of Oak Brook. And my guys know if there are little patches, we're mowing around them. We're not mowing them, but to wait any longer, it's just the grass gets so tall, and it's just really, really hard on my machines. End up damaging my machines, and the residents don't want it that tall either. However, they also don't want their wildflowers mowed, so we're trying to thread that needle the best we can. So that's my maintenance crew. Construction crew, we completed Brightwater, the repairs behind the Placegate crew. So we fixed up the irrigation there and got that part buttoned up. Let's see here. Turf maintenance. In the next 2 weeks, not this coming week, but the following week, we'll be doing fertilization and a post-emergent. So we've done our pre-emergent, and now's the post-emergent. And that's spraying all the broadleaf weeds. Those real fine weeds, the grassy weeds, those, there's not a whole lot that you can spray on those that'll kill those. Those will burn out between now and the next time I see you in the heat. Those will burn out on their own. When we go in and fertilize, the grass kind of takes over that. That's just the unfortunate truth to that. So when I say post-emergent, it's a broadleaf post-emergent, not a grassy weed. And then you'll get another fertilization in June. It's about 6-8 weeks apart. Into June, you'll get another fertilization, and that takes you into summer, and then it's just kind of hold what you got and hope for rain. But I'll talk to you about that 4 more times between now and then. But just to kind of put it on your radar. And then another thing that's in contract is aeration and top dressing. We do that on the baseball fields and the infield. We'll aerate. I'll aerate the whole baseball field, but we top dress with compost on the infields. So that'll be between now and the next visit. And then we aerate that soccer field that's next to it in the practice. What do you call it? The practice field?
Yeah.
Or people use it for soccer. We call it the soccer field, but we'll aerate that too while we're over there. And then the last thing I have that's in contract that will happen between now and the next visit is the annual flowers. We did the pots, the containers here on Monday, but we're kind of just waiting for those snapdragons to die out. They're on their way. Last week they were
Gorgeous. Yeah.
but they, you get a few weeks, you trim them back, and we fertilized them, and then this is their second bloom this spring, so they've done really well.
They have.
But they're on their way out, and the warmer temperatures, that's a cooler season annual. So as we move into the warmer season, we'll pull those out, and then there's some in the back there. We typically do begonias. We've done caladiums in the past, but the begonias, that's the red flowers that are in the pots over there on the side, and they look really nice.
Yeah.
So thinking about maybe doing some of those, but I talked with Janie on that before I actually pull the trigger. But yeah, we'll do the annual flowers and make the repairs behind the park crew, and then after that it'll be your mid-year mulch, and I'll see you 3 more times between now and then. But that's what I got. It's busy. That's why I'm rambling. It's like, well, we got to do this, and there's also this and this and this. It's like, it's that time right now. It's like we're getting rain, and it's starting to warm up, and everything's growing. Oh, another thing that I'll do, but I didn't discuss is between now and the next visit, middle of May, early May, the plants are starting to emerge. Like some of the plants are already blooming. So I'll go through and I personally, I'll fertilize all the gardens throughout the whole district, the butterfly garden, all the parks, all the beds up here. And I do that myself. So I'll do that too. So we're almost there. So a lot will be done. I'll have a lot to say next month.
I've got a question for you.
Yes.
So when you aerate the fields, is it like a machine that one person operates with a rotating drum?
Yeah.
kind of thing?
I own it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It pulls about they say a 3-inch plug. It can, if it's just rained, if we'll do it the day after we irrigate. So we irrigate on Tuesdays and Fridays. So I'll go out there Wednesday morning, or Tuesday afternoon. Because when I say we water Tuesday, that's what we'll start at midnight, right? It's technically Tuesday, to where we're done on Tuesday morning. So I'll go out there on like Tuesday morning or midday when the ground's soft. You can get a better plug. If you just show up on almost any machine, unless it's just a huge, commercial golf course style machine, you're not going to really pull a plug out on rock hard ground. So we'll wait till after it rains or after we irrigate. It's better to do it after a good rain. So yeah, I own the machine, and then it can also spray chemicals. It's got a big tank on the front, and then the aerator down on the bottom, and it's also got a hopper to where it can spray, do granular fertilizers and pre-emergence too. It's a good little machine.
Nice.
Yeah. So we'll do that. That'll you want to do that after it breaks dormancy. Not really doing a
you
whole
don't wanna
lot
do
if
it too
it's
early?
if it's half dormant and you're aerating, it's not really doing a whole lot for the grass. You want it to be a full green lawn, fully out of dormancy, and then you aerate, top dress.
That's good to know.
If not, you're also, when you top dress like that, you're kind of stopping photosynthesis if that grass hasn't emerged. You're not really covering the grass. You're kind of working it in. It's a real light. It's like a 1/4 inch or less. Yeah.
Any other questions? Anyone else?
Everything looks beautiful around the building here.
For sure.
Thanks.
For sure.
Yeah,
I'm
the red
jealous.
yucca are kicking butt. There's
So
not even
pretty up
irrigation
here.
in that island. They're
Uh-uh.
just in full bloom.
Got just
the
enough
right-
rain. Wow, those snapdragons this year were really, really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite winter annual. I like dianthus. We usually do that combination, but snapdragons are my favorite.
Love them. Thank you.
All
Okay.
right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian. I just appreciate it.
Thanks, Brian.
All right. Let's do the general manager's report and operator's report.
Okay, doke. My report is on page 24. I think I will start with, let's see, getting a lot of phone calls and emails about our parks. I'd sent out a MailChimp last week saying Fern Bluff and Brightwater are now open. We will be doing some repairs and such in the parks, but the parks are open. The day we opened it, I think that was Thursday, was down there. We were taking the fence down and everything, and it was right when school got out, and the kids, walking down Park Valley, walking home, and they came around the tennis courts and they saw the fencing down and the park was open. I've never seen so many kids screaming, running. I mean, it's just like this pile of ants. They were all there. It was truly one of the most joyous things I've seen. They were super, super excited.
As far as a big bowl of mac and cheese or something, right?
That's exactly, and it's just, and our parks were full this weekend. So just to let y'all know, Fern Bluff is now finished. The install is finished. We will be doing all the irrigation changes, repairs, the maintenance and everything in the park, which we budgeted for. We knew it was going to happen. But the actual equipment is in. I will probably come back to the board next month. It was hard to see with the design because we had kind of changed there towards the end and added that toddler space up at the front, which, oh my gosh, the kids love. But we have this kind of dead, lonely area back in the far left corner. It's sort of begging for some, like an individual swing or something like that back there. So this is not something that was left off. We just didn't see it because we had to take those trees down to get the swings and everything in. So it's just kind of changed that whole area. But we'll talk about that when I kind of get that done. So Fern Bluff is finished. Brightwater is finished. Even the sod, all of the irrigation, all of that is done. And Friendly Oaks is finished. All the equipment is in, usable. Quite a lot of damage from the construction. But in all honesty, it wasn't so much the construction that did it. We had not been doing a whole lot of maintenance in our parks over the last couple of years because we knew we were going to be putting in new equipment. So it was like, why go in and put a bunch of grass in when we're going to drive over it a year from now? You know what I'm saying? So the parks had looked a little bit sad anyway. And then with the construction people kind of on top of that, we've got some real areas that need some help. Like I was talking about the compaction and all of that. But again, we budgeted that. We knew that was going to happen. And Friendly Oaks is really cute. It's a nice little, pocket park that's over there. Olson Meadows, the fencing is up around Olson Meadows. Signs are up that the park is closed. Demo should start late this week or early next week because the equipment's going to be shipped and will arrive next week. So Olson Meadows is on its way. The only thing that the only park that we haven't is the exercise area on Mountain Mist. That little area is a challenge because it's such a small area. And because of the karst and stuff that are around, we have to kind of stay. We can't ooge out a couple of feet here and there. So it's been a bit of a challenge to get that designed, but we'll get there. We just haven't gotten there yet. Let's see.
That's Cheatham, right?
That's, what did I just say? Cheatham.
Mountain Mist.
Cheatham.
Cheatham has 3 entrances. So it's the second smaller entrance on Cheatham on Mountain Mist. Correct. Cheatham Park.
So I noticed that there's still the orange fencing on Brightwater. Is it?
That's because we had to put all that new sod in there.
Okay, so that's kind of protecting that.
That was
Got it.
trying our best to keep all of the traffic off of it just for a couple of weeks to give it a chance to get its the sod.
I thought I
the
saw
roots
there was
in.
a kind of
Yeah.
tunnel.
But the sidewalks are open and all of that. You can get there. It's we're not renting out the pavilions yet. Especially Brightwater can't take the traffic right now of a big party and all of that. We're putting in really nice grass, and so it just needs a little bit of time. We're irrigating with our restrictions to help it along, and we put zoysia in to try and help because of the amount of traffic these parks get. So as we do these renovations and these repairs, I believe firmly it behooves us, we're appropriate to put zoysia. At Friendly Oaks, because of just kind of where it is, we'll be doing Bermuda there. And it's mostly Bermuda now. But it doesn't work there at Brightwater, and we just could not keep the St. Augustine alive with the amount of traffic. So I think the zoysia will do better.
And also Meadows, since
Yes.
it's going to start the construction, is the pavilion open or is that going to close too?
We're as Brian was saying, we're really trying to thread these needles. We can't really close down that park as easily as we could close down the other ones because it's right there on the regional trail and such. I think I'm going to have to wait until next week when I see the equipment and all of that as it gets delivered. We're not renting it. I mean, if somebody wants to come up and sit in the pavilion, which they did at Brightwater and Fern Bluff also, they just were kept from going into the play areas. I think that's one of those we're just going to have to see how it goes. If people will abide by the fencing, then maybe we can keep the pavilion open. If not, then we're gonna just close that whole area.
But we're not renting it out, so.
No, no. Let's see. The one thing that I would, and this is kind of legal too, our park rules are pretty specific, but again, you never know what you don't know. You know what I'm saying? We have never been okay with dogs in the playground areas in our parks. We are putting up signs right now, but I think we need to update our park rules and put that specifically in there. It's my recommendation to the board. I mean, if you've got your dog and you're walking on the trails or you're walking in the other areas, that's fine. But we're having too many dogs on the new turf, in the taller playscape areas. We're not the only entity that doesn't allow dogs in
In our
Park.
parks.
and
Yeah.
park playground areas.
Yeah.
That's correct. The biggest issue is safety. The second issue is hygiene. But I've now witnessed twice dog here, someone's walking their dog here, and they don't like one another, and the owner was barely able to contain that dog. And I can tell you, when they started the loud barking there, the little kids just ran away. So that's why we sent out the MailChimp that basically said, you know, we get it. I'm a dog lover. I got 2 dogs. We get it. But not everyone loves dogs, you know, and especially some children are just terrified of them. And they should have safe place, my opinion, safe places to play without being worried about it. So I think it would behoove us to update our park rules so that it's there and filed with the county, if the board is in agreement with that.
Sure. We just do that in form of a motion if we're gonna change the rule.
What I would request, Mr. President, is that we bring it back next month, have a formal resolution on it. I suspect there's probably some other revisions we might want to make in light of all the work that y'all have had done to your parks. I know we've had a vandalization incident, and while that's obviously illegal to begin with, I think some of these matters, we might just kind of spruce up the park rules. I haven't looked at them in a long time, I confess. So I'd like to bring you all a formal resolution to consider for next month, and we can include an exhibit with any proposed new rules on it. Is that okay for everybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all go with that? Yeah.
So we can submit ideas to you
Sure.
Okay.
Or through Janie, whichever you like.
or,
To me or through Janie. I bet Janie will be spearheading per the norm, but yeah, that'll give us a chance to go through it, and we can spruce them up.
Many municipalities are going in and being very specific about dogs on leash, and they're specifying physical leash, because these electronic leashes, they may work with some dogs. Okay, I've never had any luck with them, but they are being very specific, and they must be on a physical leash. And so I think that's one of them we need to add to ours too.
That's a county rule too. So is that specified in the
Yeah.
county, whether it's physical or not?
I think so.
I just read the county one, and I don't remember.
'Cause that's
Well-
Yes, it is with the county. I don't think it is that specific at the city of Round Rock. One of them, I just read them. I don't
Sure,
remember.
sure.
Yeah. Okay, what
I
else we
mean,
got?
we wouldn't fall under the city of Round Rock rules anyway.
No.
So,
No,
If we don't have our own rules, the county should apply it.
Right.
they should, but it's really good for our residents to have this
Understood.
from
I
you, from our
agree.
board. Yeah,
I agree.
agreed.
I
Yeah.
agree.
now as far as putting together an actual like document and stuff like that, I might suggest that the Parks Committee meet and develop whatever the rules are. I think that one of the things that we need to look at if we're going to change or if we're going to update the rules or whatever, I think we also need to look at new signage to actually put in to the park area too. Instead of sending out a MailChimp or sending out, hey, these are the park rules, because we all know that there's people that go to our parks that are not our residents and won't get the MailChimp. So I think that should be in the conversation as far as updating the rules too.
I agree. And we have signs that have all of the district park
Right.
rules that are in our filings. But anything we change, we may have to redo our signage, but good point.
Because if we're putting in new parks, and we might as well put in new signs to say, look, this is new, and let's take care of it. So,
Mr.
Okay.
Attorney, you can look forward to my email recommending 18th century period dress for all parks.
Duly noted.
What?
18th century dressing for all parts.
That could be fun.
Just kidding.
That could really be fun. Okay, so what else do I have? Let's get
Which
to
continent?
Got to meet about that one.
Sorry.
Good
He started.
yeah. Gotta
Mr.
follow
Operator,
along. Is that what you're saying? No.
that it
Hang
for-
on. Let me check here. Was
you got anything else?
something?
I do, but I'll yield.
Tennis courts.
Oh, yeah.
In your packet, there is a lot of information about, I guess I would say, what we and our engineer were recommending as far as our tennis courts go. This is different than what we had originally discussed, in that we will not have to completely demo the asphalt that is currently there. We will be able to put a 5-inch concrete slab on top of that asphalt, and then restripe and all of that. We've come up with a really good, what we think is a good plan as far as keeping our tennis courts, but not a full court, but then being able to have 2 pickleball courts over there, fenced in pickleball courts. You'll see what page is that?
On the basketball court.
What did I say? On the tennis courts?
Yeah.
Correction. We are not taking any tennis courts away. We're keeping both tennis courts. It's on the basketball court area. Thank you.
Mhm.
Please stop me every time I do that, Hector. Where is the drawing? A whole lot of information.
So page 57, we've got a diagram.
57. I just wanted y'all to have all of the information regarding this, because it is changing that whole play area over there. I know.
Oh, no, 58. Okay.
58. Yes, perfect, thank you.
I'm trying to understand about this post-tension slab. So they don't do that till after it cures. Are there gonna be tension lines or something?
Oh, yeah, it's all rebar, do I say rebar?
Basically like a home foundation.
Yeah.
Same
So is,
effect.
like, can people run into it or trip on
No,
it?
no, it's in the concrete.
It says they do it after it cures.
The tension,
Tension they apply after it's cured.
the cables are there once the concrete dries
Oh,
up,
so
and
they
then
don't
they'll tension
tighten
it.
till.
Mhm. Right.
Okay,
right.
all right.
I don't know if you've ever been in a house that one of those have popped. Super loud. But what they do is correct me here, they put them in, and then once it's cured, then they tighten it, and that's to help stabilize that concrete. Is that the right way to say it? Yeah. That's the kind of slab I have in my house.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the house if one pops.
Is it super loud? Gosh.
Nope.
like a gunshot. I mean, it was super loud. Yeah. I think what I would like to know tonight is if this kind of solution to be able to have pickleball courts as well as deal with our poor, sad tennis courts, is this what the board was wanting? You know what I'm saying? Because we know we've got to do something with the tennis courts.
Yeah, no, I think this lines up good as far as I'm concerned. And we're not decreasing the number of tennis courts, so that'll keep the tennis folks happy. And they'll get a better surface. So, and we won't have to pay to demo it if they can build around on top. So.
A big plus on the basketball court, that one's being turned sideways.
Right.
And it's being shortened. It's basically a half court, maybe a little bit more than half court. So for the older guys, not having to run as far, it's probably a plus. So just for thoughts.
So there's only one basket.
Two.
No,
There'll be two.
There's still two hoops, but half the court.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, we're taking the whole court, cut it in half, and then turn the basketball sideways.
And then the other half will be the
Pickleball.
You couldn't have a regulation basketball game there,
No,
but most people don't do that anymore.
no, they'll just do a one-on-one with,
Mhm.
yeah. Or,
Or 2 half-court games.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's tough to do though. with only
But
half a court.
at the same time, I'm looking at the proposed basketball court, and even if you play a half court pickup game or whatever, 3-on-3, whatever, you still have a lot less room to play. And if you've got two groups that are playing, they're going to be running into each other all the time. And I think that the way it looks right now, I don't think that's a good proposal. I think it's going to be too crowded. Even with us turning it sideways, even with the two baskets, adding the pickleball side of it is fine. I think that's fine. But I think as far as the basketball side, I just think that's too crowded.
There's just no room for anything else, right?
There's
We
no,
kind of looked at it.
because the way most pickup basketball games go is that, okay, you start at the top of the key. Well, if you look at the plan, the top of the key is half court. And if you've got two people right there starting, if they're playing two different games, you got both people starting at the same, they're both at the top of the key and they're like, okay, check it in, whatever. It's like, they're basically back to back. And it's like, unless one is on one side and one's on the other and stuff like that. I just personally, having played a lot of basketball, obviously not now. And yes, you're right. For an old fat guy like myself, for a full court game, this would be great. But also at the same time, I'm not the one out there playing. But I have played before, and I know that kind of situation could get pretty crowded.
Yeah, my thought would be to just get rid of one of the baskets. Because that way you don't have people any contentions between the two baskets. And if somebody wants to do a half court game, they still have a basket in half the court.
But on that count, you literally cut the amount of people who can play in half.
Well, you can still have a 4-on-4 half court game, right? I've seen it done. I played it myself, right? Most people are 2-on-2, right? Or 1-on-1. I
Right.
guess the real question I would have is how busy is that basketball court anyway, right? Because if we have a lot of pickup games and stuff going on there, then maybe you're right. Maybe it has to be rethought.
I think that that's a good point, Mark. Is that of course, it's also not summertime yet either. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of teenagers here in about a month and a half that they're going to be spending their time down at basketball courts. And so, thinking about what you said, one idea that I had was, well, let's just do a little population sample. Let's count how many people are going to the basketball courts, on any given night, on the weekend, stuff like that. But also at the same time, in the month of April, that's not going to give you a good sample either, because it's April and it's not June when kids are out of school. So, I mean, I don't know. My thought is turning a full court, and I say full court, metaphorically turning it sideways into a half a court. I don't think that's a good idea. I think that's going to set us up for.
I think people adapt to what's offered, and there's just not space for a full court. So we're kind of, we have to make a choice. Are we going to get rid of one of the pickleball courts? Even that wouldn't do it right. Make that. And I was in Padre on spring break, and we were close to a half ball court like this. It was well used. I didn't see. I mean, I passed by it every day walking to the beach. People didn't seem to have a problem, and there were a lot of kids there because it was spring break. We've offered a full court forever, and now we're hitting, our community is aging, and we are getting younger people in again. But I think we're serving a community, a population that we haven't been able to serve before. So I think we can accommodate in a different way than we've been accommodating. And because it's just a fact that we can't offer a full court. And that was my hope, but that we just can't build that way.
We can't.
I mean, and I'm not talking about an actual 96-foot full court basketball. But I mean, we're talking about, I believe, if I remember right, I think the width of a basketball court is something like 42 or 40 or something like that. I mean, basically, you're talking about going from 96 to 42. And it's, I don't know. And you may be right, Jessica. You may be, it may end up being just fine.
So the current slab is 105 by 60. So we'll still have 60 foot for that half court or whatever you call it. May not be the best, but I mean, we've met with our engineers, we've met with professionals in this area, and I guess for us is like, trying to please everybody.
Right.
Keep the tennis, because we learned that you just don't mess with the tennis folks. Just don't go there. So then basketball, and Jeremiah, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, a lot of the traffic we see is younger kids, maybe a father-son combo and stuff. I mean, we don't see full-blown games that much as far as traffic's concerned. So
That's the same. I mean, that's the same with the.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
And mind you, the purpose of this is really usage for practice and pickup games, right? We're not going to have tournaments being played here, half-court tournaments or whatever. What's important is the quality of the surface, the quality of the baskets, and the key markings, free throw, top of the key, the wing spots, and then everything else between, so you can get the scale. And I forget who said a moment ago, I mean, the games will adapt. I think Jessica says, the games will adapt. I think two sets of games who want to play would rather have their game playing when they get there on a shorter court rather than, okay, I can play a full half court, but I've got to wait until they're done or they release their side of the court, right? So I think that for the purposes we're trying to, or the needs we're trying to address, I think this makes a lot of those compromises without being an overall complete compromise. I think we check off a lot of the boxes that we're trying to get and deliver something that is useful from a recreational perspective.
My
That's my 2 cents.
my observation from the Oak Brook
Yeah.
court is that I've never seen more than 4 or 5 people on the court, and that's pretty rare. We had it straight for pickleball, and I still haven't seen a pickleball game on it yet. Of course, the weather at school still, and it's not the kids that play pickleball; it's the adults, right? But I haven't seen any major, rush of the basketball court in Oak Brook. And remember, we've got over 500 homes in Oak Brook, right? So, and I drive by there almost every day. So,
Yeah, I mean, I like the way Jessica put it, where, the people adapt. We'll adapt to what's there. And with the pickleball court, again, you're getting a community in there that maybe wouldn't have used the parks before, so that'd be good too. The kids will adapt. I played a lot of basketball when I was young, and once we turned 16, if we didn't like the court, we drove to somewhere we liked the court, or we looked, for a place that had other guys there that we could pick up and play against some strangers. So, if we're talking about up to 16 people that can walk there in the neighborhood, I think this will serve the needs just fine.
does I never noticed. Does the school have a basketball court in it? Fern Bluff? No.
Oh, well, they may inside in the
Well,
gym,
yeah,
but
yeah.
not
They do in the
outside.
gym. They do in the
Yeah,
gym.
they in a gym, yeah, but not outside.
I remember the elementary school I went to, they actually had
There used to be baskets outside the lunchroom. Where are we?
we're in the
Right here.
That's right.
On this behind Cloud Peak.
Oh, okay.
There's a little
Are they not there
courtyard.
anymore?
It's fenced in. I don't know. I haven't looked in a while.
Okay. But are we actually going to light it? Are there lights there now? I see there's a.
There
There are some lights.
are some lights there. We need to upgrade our lights, so we need to go to LED lights. I mean, if we're gonna do this and we're gonna be digging, trenching, update the lights.
I guess the question is, I mean, is there a problem with the neighbors and the lights?
No, and we're very cognizant of that because we do have the people right across the street. They can be adjusted. Some people will fuss because they, but we're never going to light it up like at the high school or whatever. That's just not fair to the neighbors. It's just not.
Well, I don't know if some people came to the Oak Brook HOA and asking us to put lights in, and we looked at not only the cost, but a lot of the neighbors, we had a lot of houses around there, and they complained somewhat about the lights at the pool.
Right.
So we're not going to do that, but, okay.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong here. I think we're going to need to adjust some of the lights too because of the way the courts are going to be. But we've already got electricity over there. We're not having to reinvent the wheel.
Do we have them go off at a specific time?
We do. We have them on
So
timers.
they go on like at dusk and
Mhm.
off at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock or something like that.
We do have some, especially when it gets really hot. People like to play at night,
Right.
and they like to play early. So we sort of extend that in the summertime. Again, though, trying to be respectful to the people that live across.
Mhm. Okay, that answered my question.
I totally get what you're saying, Kevin, and
Yeah.
the only I can just say emphatically, this is the best we can do at Fern Bluff Park.
And
It
we burn some
just
brain
is.
cells.
Well, yeah. So if we need to go look for another site, it'll have to be at another park. It
No,
just
I mean,
will.
I mean, we
Right.
can
Lots of
We
room in
can
We
do
are
it.
kind
We
of
can
landlocked there, and
see what happens.
that's a good point because we're not technically demoing the basketball court or anything. If we wind up seeing that, nobody's playing pickleball, but I don't think that's going to happen because that was one of the biggest things in our survey. It can be reconfigured.
Just restriping and moving the basketball court and removing the pickleball net.
And the fencing around the pickleball, we have to have that fence there.
Oh, right.
And all of it will be upgraded with our key fob system and everything. Our tennis courts right now, those gates are beyond their lifespan. I'll just put it that way. So this is going to be new fencing, and it'll be a lot nicer looking too.
As far as these estimates or this quote is concerned, does that include the lights and the fencing, or is that exclude
Yes.
Yes.
them? Okay, so that explains why they're so high too.
Yes.
Okay.
I think the age of the people that use the court has changed dramatically since I first moved here. It used to be young adult men and adult men, and it was like a real game, 6 and 6, and I would see little kids sitting on the side not able to play, and I think that's changed, and the number of people that are on that court seems to me, when I go by, has changed dramatically. Even on weekends, there's not the same number that we used to get.
No, and we've watched, because obviously a lot has been going on, and I would say most of the use is half court.
Yeah.
That's just sort of how teenagers and young kids have learned to play. You know what I'm saying? I think I can say that it's almost all half court. And I guess that kind of begs the question. If someone says, well, I can't play down there because it's not a full court, that's one of those, we're really sorry.
Yeah.
We tried to, but we had no board. But we do have 2 pickleball courts.
And I can't believe how many young people play pickleball.
Pickleball.
Yeah, it is
Yes.
amazing.
It's
They have-
becoming a big
I was
thing.
watching tournaments on ABC.
I know.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's amazing.
What is that shuffleboard? That was always a older people's game,
Not anymore.
but not anymore. And it's the same with pickleball. It's kind of started with olders, retired people, and now younger and younger people are playing it. And
And it's amazing how many people get hurt or hurt themselves. Let me put it that way.
hurt themselves.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of injuries because of pickleball, old and young. It's really amazing.
Well, I'm not going to play.
Oh come on.
I can't
Kidding.
wait.
I am going to try it.
Oh, yeah.
And I will tell you this. I did ride the zip line at Fern Bluff Park. Yes, I did.
She'll beat me to it.
So,
Y'all can approve it tonight. You can not approve it tonight. You can give us a different direction. Whatever the board feels is best.
Do we need to select colors or anything tonight, or just go with the proposed plan?
I would go with the proposed plan. The blue-green has worked well for us. I think we should stay with that,
Oh, yeah,
especially with the color combinations in our parks.
So we'll have a court that's blue and green, or,
Yes,
okay. Yeah, that's what I like. Keeps with the theme.
totally up to you guys.
No, I think except for the sand color, I think they're the coolest colors that's offered. So,
I agree.
and I mean temperature, not dip.
While y'all think on this
Since
as to
there's
what
not
you
a-
want to do,
since
I'm
there's
going to
not a
jump
pink
over
option.
to the very simple thing that's in your packet. It's an interlocal agreement with our district and Brushy Creek Mud, basically for emergency water use between the districts and establish an interconnect. We needed it last month. As Round Rock was doing some maintenance on their lines, as we know, they've helped us out several times. This is just good public policy to have these types of agreements with nearby districts. So I would really like the board to approve this. We've already done it, but this just sort of,
No.
yeah, okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Appreciate it very much. Sets our parameters, if you will.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the interlocal agreement for emergency water supply and/or the Sport Court Austin Park proposal? Pardon?
I was just clearing my throat.
You can do them
I think,
two
I think
separate
they should
motions.
be two separate motions.
Yeah.
100%.
I'm just asking for a motion. That's all.
I move to approve the
Interlocal.
whatever.
All right, motion by Director Barnes to approve the interlocal agreement for emergency water supply.
I'll second that.
Packet, second by Director Horton. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? The ayes have it, 5-0.
Motion to approve the proposal for our replacement of the tennis court service, the improved basketball, and additional pickleball courts.
All right, motion by Director Stemko for the Sport Court Austin proposal in the packet.
I'll second that.
Second by Director Smith. Any additional
Discussion?
Yeah, looking through this, one thing that they now, like I said, I'm just kind of, I guess I haven't dug deep enough into it. What kind of warranty, what kind of lifespan are we looking at for, because it looks like it's going to be some kind of acrylic cover.
That's actually addressed in it. So I saw
Okay. I guess I missed that part.
expected lifespan of 3 to 10 years, depending on wear and weather. And their warranty on all the materials and installation is 1 year.
It's on
That's-
page
Yep, thank you.
44
Yeah,
or
you got it.
something like that. The quality guarantee exclusions does not cover.
You'll never get a longer warranty on a outdoor surface than that. It just, weather.
Now,
Sun.
The
one
year
thing,
basically covers you for their prep and installation. And from there, it's
That's correct.
how much is being used, how much snow and ice is it getting,
How many hailstorms we have.
how many cars are you parking on it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
meteor strikes?
How many 200-pound 6-footers are hanging on the goalpost?
okay, so one thing we did talk, I think that I remember us talking about the idea of not actually striping the court for pickleball, but not actually putting up the nets for it.
No, in this proposal, we'll do the whole thing. That's what we
So-
talked about before. It's like,
Right.
as we were trying to figure out how to make this all work together. They'll literally be pickleball courts.
Right.
Yeah, they're it's
Striping with the
individual now,
netting.
not
That's right.
not a joint effort.
Correct.
I think
Not
I brought that.
multi-use.
Yeah, I think I brought that up 2 meetings ago when we were talking about what we did at Oak Brook, right? That we striped it, but people have to bring their own nets. And yeah, that didn't seem to won't work there here.
Oh, maybe that's the reason why you said that you haven't seen anybody playing pickleball. Maybe.
Well, I've seen people on the tennis courts because we have
Right.
2 pickleball striped courts on the tennis courts. We have 1 tennis court with 2 pickleballs, 1 on each side. I've seen people play there. I've played there, the pickleball. But, people like today we're whacking tennis balls around in the court. And what we did that in case there's tennis players and somebody wanted to play pickleball and the basketball court wasn't being used, they can set up there because we don't supply the net. They have to bring their own, which aren't really that expensive to be, just have to carry them with you. But that's what we did in Oak Brook, but it seems to be working.
Call the vote.
Yeah.
I'm looking for details on that basketball rim. Is that a rigid rim or does it have straining roof? Somebody hang on it and bend it, or is it going to give?
It's commercial quality, but again, you get a 240-pound
Person hanging on it.
person hanging on those, and well,
Well, I,
we have maintenance. Let me put it this way: we have maintenance all the time at the basketball.
Okay. All right.
It
Okay.
should be similar to what's there now.
Yes,
Okay.
okay, so the,
better backboard.
I mean, this one does look like it's rigid, right? I mean, you can't adjust it. The one we have, you can adjust up and down, so if you have little kids coming to play, you
Yeah.
can bring it down.
Yeah, it does say fixed height. In the
Yeah.
bid. Yeah.
It is. You.
And,
I think that's a good idea. I think that's a good. Don't get me wrong, but you also have to remember how many more people we have in that park.
well, yeah, no, I understand that. Well, my question is really then going to be, are we still going to do two goal posts, right? And if we are, maybe one of those should be adjustable. Right.
You know what?
You make them adjustable, you will have people hanging off the rim.
Yeah, and you're gonna have, to make it adjustable, you're gonna have kids, high school kids who can't dunk on a 10-foot goal. Let's lower it to 8 feet and they're gonna be tearing stuff up.
And now we
So,
can hang on it. Yes.
That was just
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
suggestion.
I don't think it should be adjustable. I think that if you're going to, I mean,
Well, again,
you're
we
gonna try
really
and
need,
shoot a basketball, you need to learn how to shoot it that high.
in-
Need
in
to
that
learn to
case,
play with the big dogs.
You really need two of them.
I think we do, and I think another piece of that market to having to is the sun. The way it is, if it's too direct on this end of the court, they can go play on the other end of the court.
It's going to be east-west.
Mm-hmm.
That was just food for thought.
I this thing has been a challenge. How many times have we measured that area, guys? I don't even know. Like what?
Like I said, we
Yeah,
probably lost a few brain cells in the whole
Yeah.
process.
more than that.
I'm sorry, did you have to use math in real life?
No.
You know, when I was in high school, in algebra classes, like, when am I ever going to use algebra? Then I get into water treatment. It's like I use it every single day. Just,
You know, it's funny. I did something, the Wilco sheriff's like citizens, and the very first night you have the sheriff's deputy saying, yeah, I'm using algebra all the time. And I'm like,
Yes. My purpose in life.
nice.
I have no more.
and I do have to, last thing I'm going to say, and I am going to vote yes for it after doing some quick math.
No.
I mean, I do think I still don't like it, but I mean, it looks like there may be about 4 feet or so between the top of the key and the half court line. So, well, not ideal. I mean,
There's enough room for two guys to inbound at the same time.
it'll work. So,
If it makes you feel better, Richard and I had the same concern. We explored every option there was to try and do it. And it just couldn't do it. And I mean, we just couldn't go into the cars feature area.
and you're right. I mean, it is supporting a new dynamic. I mean, with the pickleball, I mean, who knows what's going to happen 10 years from now as far as what's going to be popular. I mean, heck, y'all were talking about pickleball tournaments. My daughter used to play cornhole and like earn prize money for that. And so that's on ESPN now. So,
That's a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all right, call to motion.
All right. Discussion is ended. Let's have a vote. All in favor of the Sportport of Austin proposal? Ayes have it. 5-0.
I'm done.
Make it so.
Mr. Operator, what do you have for us? Anything?
Now we get to talk about some fun stuff. Maybe.
Not really.
Not really. We've
out loud.
we've recently installed a meter at our pump station. That's a great thing because now we have a fixed number of homes coming out of that pump station. So now we can do leak detection, just kind of follow up on water loss, that kind of stuff. So That's, that addition is giving us a good tool to, just kind of work on our system and make sure that we are where we're supposed to be. So more work to come on the pump station, but so far so good. And the really fun part, City of Round Rock just notified us that they will be doing a chlorine conversion, which right now they feed us with chloramine, which is a less strong, longer lasting disinfectant for our system. They're converting to free chlorine, which is stronger. It's going to last about a month. And we're going to be busy. We'll be doing a lot of flushing. And chances are we're going to experience some taste and odor in the water when the conversion is happening. That's why we're having to do a lot of flushing, but it's really good maintenance for a water system to do that. So in one way, I'm happy that this is happening. The other is, like, I know that we're going to be really busy, but in that vein, we're actually going to do some valve work at our metering stations. So we can prepare. I mean, I've had this idea for a while. We have most of the parts to do it. With this conversion, we're looking at actually getting it done and operating at a higher efficiency than we have been. So good stuff.
So that's this chlorine that they're using, or whatever the solution is.
Chloramine.
Chloramine is a previous solution.
What are they going to use in the future?
So, well, it's just going to be a 1 month. It's a maintenance for the distribution
Okay,
system.
so it's like a single flush. It's not going to be something that's constant.
Correct. Well, the old school is we would call it a system burnout, but apparently
like burning out a pool.
Yeah. pretty much. So apparently the wording burnout is not acceptable anymore, because the assumption is, well, you're burning. What are you burning? You're going to burn us. So it's just a chlorine conversion, and basically chloramine is chlorine and ammonia at a ratio of 5 to 1. So
Which you never use in the house.
It's a ratio.
it's a ratio.
Weird.
It's like 4 to 1, 5 to 1, depending on where your chemistry is. Nerd herd is at work. But so all they do with that conversion, they remove the ammonia and let the stronger disinfectant go in, and whatever biofilm or whatever is in the pipes, that basically
Flushes it.
burns it out.
Yeah, okay.
So one thing I'll ask the board is perhaps we may consider lifting the restrictions on our irrigation. My thought is, if we lift the restrictions and people say, man, I can water every single day for a month.
Get more water through.
We get a benefit to the flushing.
Yes, we're not losing the revenue of having put all that water on the ground. Let the irrigation systems do it for us.
I like that
So
idea.
I like
around
it.
anyway.
Do you?
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
So on that note, should we be putting out a communication?
Oh, we will. We've already got a
Okay.
schedule
What?
of when we'll.
Communication.
Yeah.
So we've already notified.
Chipmunk. Sorry, I missed
No
the
worries.
ball.
I do the same thing.
Yeah, we've already notified the TCEQ. They responded today saying, great, let your customers know it's not mandatory that you do, but we already have some wording that we'll do on a MailChimp or however we need to put it out. But if we can just lift the restrictions on watering,
Well,
I'm hoping that folks will catch on to that and just start watering.
Now's probably the time when people really know it's going to rain. When are they planning on doing this?
The dates are May 27th.
Oh, so it's next month.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It just so happens that should be the day of our board meeting, unless we change it, whatever.
So in a nutshell, we have to pay for the water anyway to
Yes.
get flushed.
Mhm.
And this way we're actually spreading the cost of it
Right.
and allowing our homeowners to green up their yards for a change.
Mhm.
Win-win.
But on the flip side of it, my mind just went blank. Hang on a second.
So it'd be the difference between revenue water and non-revenue water. So
I understand that, but my point is Round Rock going to do that will let us do that because they're the ones who have set the water restrictions, aren't they?
We can get this approved.
Yeah.
Okay.
This helps them too.
Okay. No.
Because here's the thing is that our water expense revenue is probably going to be a little upside down this year anyway, because of this last situation that we had. Then we're going to be doing a lot of flushing. We're going to get a lot of calls of flushing this much water. We have to do this. This is just part of good water maintenance. We understand why the city is doing it. We're going to take some of it on the chin, but that's okay. This does have to be done. But if we can give our residents the benefit right at the beginning of the summer, do some extra watering, get ready for the hot temps, why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah, and they're planning,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
might
no.
want to resod.
And
Yeah,
there,
that would-
I do believe there'll be some taste difference. I don't know how many days or whatever it's going to last, but we'll put all that out to our residents too, to be aware, give them plenty of time to go get bottled water if they choose. The water is not going to be unsafe at all. It's just going to be different.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
good.
you'll get that chlorine taste.
Mhm.
Like if you're in a pool, you can smell the chlorine and stuff. I mean, that's
Well, this will be a good test of my chlorine removal system.
yes.
There you go.
Yeah,
And what
Yeah.
did you say was going to happen on our next meeting day?
that's when they start the
That's when we're
conversion.
starting.
Yes.
Mhm.
So we'll run a slip and slide out in the parking lot then?
Hey.
Bonus.
I'm in.
Love it.
Since I didn't get to do the
All right.
the
Zip
the
line?
whatchamacallit, the
The
zip
zip line, you're
yeah.
never going to let me forget that.
I lost
We
a
had a
dollar on
bet.
that.
Can you spell chloramating for me?
Chloramine. CHLORAMINE.
Chloramine.
Well,
M-E-I-N-E.
actually, it's chloraminating, so it's a little bit longer. So
Chloraminating,
I have
okay.
to spell it out for you because my brain's just not.
Okay, I'll just do it phonetically.
CHLORAM.
That's not,
Yes.
that's
Yep.
something we don't need to vote on.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's-
ammonia, no
it's-
ammonia.
A requirement.
Operational,
So,
yeah.
operation, yeah.
And the only other things I have that are coming up on the not so far radar, we have lead and copper testing this year. So we'll be looking. If you don't have a softener, please let me know. I mean, we'd love to get some testing in your home.
Oh, so sorry.
So
I don't
And
have a softener.
I can bypass the.
I don't have a softener.
great. We'll send you a bottle to take a sample. So
I actually
I can
don't have a
bypass it.
softener either.
sweet. That's 3, 4.
I used to, but it got
Bonus.
too much to maintain.
Here you go. We got
I'm
4.
about to get one, so I'll wait.
Chlorine removal system work better without chloramine. So
Then the last thing is consumer confidence reports is coming up as well. So that's a
No, we
standard
don't.
annual thing.
I put this in because my.
It's coming.
I got this
That's what we do.
water softener.
There we go. Okay. Thank you, sir.
There it is.
All
Hector,
right.
Hector, I have my, just question, my outdoor spigots are not on don't go through my water softener.
They shouldn't be.
What?
They should not
They
be.
don't. So I'm saying if you want to use.
So we have to have inside, outside.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
it's pretty specific. I mean, it has to be a kitchen sink, at least 6 hours. First draw, that kind of stuff. So
Sorry,
there's
I'm out.
So like, first thing in the
I
morning,
tried.
after, yeah,
Yep.
Thank you.
I tried.
easy.
All right.
All right.
Next up, roads committee. What do we got? Anything?
I have no update.
They're in Oak Brook. They are right now. They're doing road resurfacing.
Yeah, starting on Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday.
I thought they started today.
Thursday.
It was a late start.
Uh,
There is a schedule on the.
There's a schedule. As far as I saw, Oak Brook, they're doing Brushy Creek tomorrow, and then they start today, maybe today, tomorrow, and then they start Oak Brook on the 24th.
Okay.
That's what I saw.
Okay.
And I put out an announcement on Facebook and on our
Saw it.
town square.
Right.
So that
Yeah,
people-
in their mapping, because y'all are completely surrounded by Brushy Creek.
Yeah.
That's kind of,
So that's all on their website.
Yeah.
They're doing a chip seal.
Yeah, of course.
Hopefully they don't like they did the one here.
Well, I tried to make sure residents knew that they should move their cars. Because the last time they
Yes.
did it, people had left their car in the street. So they went around it like this and they never came back to refill the spots.
Mhm.
So I tried to give people a hint. Hey, if your neighbor's out of town and they have a car on the street, see if you can figure out a way, help, let them know. So if there's a way, maybe their kids can move it or something. Anyway, that's my
When they-
story. I'm sticking to it.
When they did Stone Canyon, I think is the first time that crew had ever done a chip seal ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's terrible. Sorry.
Well, we still have residents saying, oh, that stuff's crap,
It's terrible.
It's terrible, but it is what it is.
Not a fan myself.
No.
All right, that's it for roads then. Budget committee, Director Barnes, do you have anything?
Nothing really big. One thing that I do want to point out, so we're talking about spending, we've been talking about the past several months about spending all this money. And anytime the money amount gets over, I don't know, $10, kind of makes my heart palpitate. But after looking at the budget a little bit closer, our capital, what's wrong with me? Our capital outlay up until this point is $1,891,029. That's October 24 to today to March. The annual budget for capital outlay, because we knew coming into fiscal year we were going to be spending a lot on parks and tennis courts and everything like that. The budget was $3,019,000. Right now, as of right now, with about 7 months left, and just a couple of more big projects. I think we still have Olson Meadows and tennis courts. Those are our last two big projects. We are right at about 62.6% of our budgeted amount. So I'm not saying that's good or bad, but I just want everyone to know that it seems like we're spending a lot of big money, and we're still, I'm not saying go crazy, Janie, but we're still sitting at
Not me.
62% of the budgeted amount.
So bottom line, we're in the black.
Well,
We're contained within
we're
plan.
under
budget.
our budgeted amount.
Yes.
Correct.
So
New window treatments for the community center.
Yes.
How about new doors?
Oh,
That's coming
went
next
there.
month. I promise you we're
He
getting
went
there. I'm just trying to get through the parks, and then I'll have the emotional capacity to deal with these doors.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
We're already done.
When are the gates going to get put in?
Good segue to the district community center. So there you go.
Yeah, he's just, yeah. They have very strange senses of humor. I don't
He
know.
went there first. So
Yeah.
Breaking up.
Community center's doing well. Very nice feedback on our new lighting and such, especially the exterior, because they were really bad, but even in the event rooms and such. These parks have taken a lot of my time. So when I say I've kind of been putting some things on the back burner, I have been. But once we kind of get Olson Meadows going, we're going to have the roof here at the community center assessed. Some of the pavilions in our parks, they can probably be painted again, and that is our hope, and that's what we will do. A couple of them, especially at Friendly Oaks, are really bad. I think it's kids on top of it, but you can pretty much tell, especially at Friendly, the pounding it took from our two hailstorms. It's visible underneath. You know what I'm saying? So I'll come back and we'll talk about those things. But the community center is doing great. We're doing well. Yeah.
There we go.
Here's good news tonight.
All right. Director Horton, we've been eating for the deed restriction committee.
No new traffic outstanding this past month regarding deed issues coming up for escalated conversation. So pretty much all's quiet on the Western Front, if you will. Interesting comments from the non-resident earlier, minding our own business for us. Maybe we'll discuss a little bit in executive session, but I have a couple of questions. But yeah, nothing new.
Security Committee, Director Barnes, do we have anything for Security Committee?
Now, one thing I did notice before, well, back up. So last month we did have 120 hours of patrol, which that was the up that we've been talking about for the past couple of meetings. That is up to 20% from last month. One thing I do want to ask about under 12B, an amendment to the law enforcement services agreement. Do we have that amendment, or are we going
That's just
to?
the amendment for us to waive our hours. The Commissioners Court's been undergoing some changes. They got a new judge and everything. We'll get that back soon.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, our officers are patrolling and
My only critique is what I voiced before, is that I don't see any of them coming by the ponds at Oak Brook. I mean, I'm chasing off Fisher boys quite often, and I really like to see more patrols so that to back me up.
They are there a lot. If you look at their individual driving days, the hours that they put in, almost every officer goes to the ponds at least once during their tour.
I mean, I haven't seen them in weeks going by there. Now that doesn't mean they don't drive by it once, during my lunch, which is at home, and I'm looking out the window anyway. But I'm just chasing these kids away all the time, and I've been giving them your cards that you gave me.
Thank
There's
you.
no fishing.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, I can't catch the guys on the electric scooters to give them.
The electric crews driving through the where no motor, no
Yeah.
vehicles are allowed.
And it's amazing how many of these kids are like fishing right next to the sign.
Oh, yeah.
The last time a couple of days ago, I went out, and there were two kids, and they were like literally throwing the lines right next to the sign. And I walk up and say, just in case you can't read that sign right there, here's a little one for you.
Very good.
Take it home, have your mom and
But,
daddy.
yeah. Yeah.
Are you asking where they live?
No, but the last couple I chased away, they actually went. I told them go fish in this creek.
Yes.
Right, there's more fish there than there are in these ponds.
Yes.
And they went down that way, but that doesn't mean that they were actually going to the creek. They may.
I
have gone
do
home.
try to find out if they're our residents' children or if they're
Well,
nearby
a
neighborhoods.
couple of them were, because they, the one guy said, I told him, look, if the sheriff comes by, you could be, cited for trespassing. He said, but I live right there. I said, it doesn't matter, right? This is not Oak Brook. This is Fern Bluff, right? So
No fishing.
no fishing. And the one guy, he looks at the sign, says, what, beware of snakes. I said, the one up above. He says, whatever the middle one is. And it's no fishing is on the top. So
Yeah.
he's like, you're toying with me, buddy.
Yeah. They want to do what
So-
they want to do.
Yeah. Anyway, I haven't seen them, but that doesn't mean they're not there, I guess.
Yeah,
But especially
they're
on
not gonna
weekends.
park.
Oh, they won't park.
Yeah, they're just, yeah.
And most people, if they see a deputy car anywhere around, they're probably going to act like they're not fishing.
Well, it's hard to hide a fishing pole sometimes, unless you throw it in. I mean, I don't know if you've got them a notice from a resident about the noise that one
Yes.
of the fountains was making.
Yes.
I
That
mean,
what's
it was loud.
fountain.
The fountain was buzzing like crazy, and I don't know if somebody's line got in there or something else. But I did reach out to Aquatics Features, and
That would be a good thing for you to put out in your Oak Brook neighborhood if you have to do a pretty good repair due to fishing line this time.
We'll see what Eric? No, Mike.
Could just be the pumps
Alex.
burning out too.
I think Alex is
Yeah.
the guy who comes out.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, we'll have to find out what the problem was, and if it was a fishing line, we'll definitely indicate, hey, by the way, if somebody was fishing in the pond and it just cost HOA $600 to fix it, or whatever it is.
Mhm. Sometimes they don't care.
Yeah.
No, sir, I'm not fishing. This is my pet worm. He passed away. I'm having burial at sea.
Right,
Oh, moving on.
moving on.
Okay, that's security committee. What do we got?
Communications is next. Director Smith, what have you got for us?
Other than what we've talked about, I mean, Janie's put out a couple of communications over the last month or so regarding, the parks, fishing and dogs on leashes and stuff. So I think what we need to do is have a look for this quarter. Maybe at next meeting, we'll come up with some ideas and we'll get it out before the end of the quarter, another quarterly newsletter.
Sounds like a plan.
So that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
All right, next agenda item, ongoing litigation. We have a report from Mr. Attorney.
No, sir. I'm still waiting for a opinion back from the third court.
Okay. All right, very good. That being the case, let's look at our next meeting date, May 27th.
I will not be here.
It's like say Mark's going to be on a cruise or something.
No, I'm going to be, where am I going to be?
That is the
I'll be in
day after
California.
Memorial Day. So if anybody is thinking,
Oh.
like, where is it falling in the month? Is anyone going out of town for the holiday?
Other than me, you mean?
Hmm?
I'll be in California. My niece gets married a couple of days after that.
Oh, nice. There you go.
And Zach, you're tied up on the third Thursday, right? Or Tuesday?
Third Tuesdays, usually. Let me see. It depends on the Tuesday. Are you wanting to move to the?
No, I don't even know if it's an option, but
You'd be asking about May 20th.
pardon?
You'd be asking about May 20th then.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious if,
I could actually do it for May.
just in case anyone else is traveling because of Memorial Day. I don't know.
Papa Top's here. Sorry. Yeah, I still won't be here, but I leave on the 14th.
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
okay, then
You're,
we'll stick with the 27th. Then.
Yeah.
Okay.
you need to stay home.
I'll be here in June.
So leave it on the 27th?
Yes, please. May
Okay.
27th will be the next meeting date as scheduled. Agenda item 16, future agenda items. We've got park rules, a resolution for that maybe. Anything else? No? Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Director Barnes,
I'll second that.
second by Director Smith. All in favor?
Yeah, all right.
The motion carries
All right.
5-0. The time is 7:24. This meeting is adjourned.
Don't you have a dog?
Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
Where's your daughter? Your daughter's not still here, is she?
Thank you, guys.
I have a daughter.
And George, here is the interlocal for you to sign.
All right.
She'll actually be
Huh.
coming out to California, but she and my other daughter are flying out.
This was
Her friend
Off?
comes and house sits
Huh?
with the dog.
this was
And the
I
dog
mean-
comes and
Were you off the
takes
whole
Oh well, no,
time?
it was on, but
Yeah,
there's no
takes her
power
away.
light.
That's
Is
good.
that
Get
normal?
pictures of the dog next to us.